Hey everybody, and welcome back to Zested Foods. My name is Christine Chai, and this channel is all about strengthening the family one meal at a time. Thank you so much for joining me here live tonight in my home. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat, and when I can, I will look over and try and answer your questions the best that I can. If you're here from out of state, outside of Utah, wherever you're from, let me know in the chat right now where you're watching from. And once again, thank you so much for joining me. With Easter right around the corner, I thought it would be so much fun if I showed you how to make a buttermilk pancake, and then we turn those pancakes into the Easter bunny, which would be really fun for you guys to feed your kids on Easter morning. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix all of our dry ingredients together. So here I have a bowl of 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. But before we go on, can you guys let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me? Just say, we can hear you. I'd hate to go halfway through and you can't even hear me, so I'll just double check and make sure if you guys can hear me okay. Hope you guys are all surviving, being cooped up in your homes. What are you doing to keep occupied? Have you done a lot of baking? I've seen so many posts on social media, baking, baking, baking. Let's see. Okay, after we add the 3 tablespoons of sugar, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 3/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. We'll just quickly stir all of that together. And then here in this separate bowl, we're going to add our liquid ingredients. And we're gonna start out with 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Now, if you don't have any buttermilk on hand, you can do a homemade version of buttermilk, and that's just 1 tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice to 1 cup of milk. So you put in your vinegar and then you fill up your milk to the 1 cup, and then at that point you just let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes and you'll start to see your milk kind of curdling, and that's a good sign. But if you have buttermilk, I prefer to use real buttermilk, but I've used milk with vinegar all the time when you're in a bind. Okay, now we're gonna add 2 eggs. And then we're gonna add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And I wanted to leave this like this because I wanted to show you that I put the butter in my jar or my bowl, and then if you put the wrapper back over the bowl and then you put it in the microwave like this, it'll help prevent the splattering all over your microwave. Just a little tip for you, unless you like cleaning out your microwave. Then we'll add 4.5 tablespoons of melted butter. And I melted this a little bit earlier so it wasn't so hot putting it into my buttermilk, because then it will just seize right up, like not seize, but it will just get really hard. It'll harden up, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay, then we'll stir this together. And then we're gonna mix the wet into the dry. Now, the wheat flour, it produces a gluten. So when you overmix it, that's what gives, or the wheat flour produces gluten. So when you mix it together, it's what gives your bread, your muffins, your pizza dough, anything like that, the gluten is what gives it structure. But with pancakes and quick breads, you do not want to overmix it, because then it makes your bread tough and chewy, which is really good for things like pizza dough and bread. But when we're making pancakes or muffins, we don't want it to be chewy. We want it to be light and fluffy. And that's one of the reasons why we're separating the liquid from the dry, so that we don't overmix. So once we have this all mixed together, we're gonna pour this into our dry. And I'm gonna quickly turn on my griddle because I forgot to get that preheating. So I'm gonna turn it up to about 350 degrees and let that heat up. So like I said, we do not wanna over mix this. So I like to use a rubber scraper just so that I can get the sides of the bowl, but if you wanna use a whisk, have at it. So I take my rubber scraper and then I just come in and I gently just kind of fold everything together. And you shouldn't mix longer than about 10 seconds. And it's okay if you still have a little bit of lumps in your pancake batter because they'll eventually just kind of go back into the batter as it sits. Does anybody so far have any questions for me? Or you can let me know what is your favorite kind of pancake to make. Now with these pancakes, I like to sometimes throw in a little bit of blueberries. It's really yummy with this recipe. This recipe I grew up with. My mom made these pancakes for us all the time, and so this is kind of one of those that gets handed down. I love this recipe. Also, it's going to be a little bit thick because of the buttermilk. If it's too thick and it's not really pouring very well, just thin it down with a little bit of milk and then you'll be just fine. So if you can see here, I just covered it up, but there's still a little bit of lumps of the flour that I didn't mix all the way. And like I said, that's gonna be just fine. But I'm gonna pull out some milk and add a little bit just so it's not too thick. And just like a tablespoon, and you'll be just fine. And then just stir that in gently. And you should be good to go. Okay, I will pull this griddle over and then we can start making our pancakes. My kids love pancakes. If ever I say, hey, what do you guys want to have for dinner? 90% of the time it's either pancakes or French toast. So if you're ever in a bind for dinner, make some breakfast. Okay, on my griddle, you can spray it with like a non-stick cooking spray, but I like to use butter because it adds flavor. So, but you have to be careful with the butter because it does burn. So you don't want to put it on and then wait a long time to put your pancakes on. You want to make sure that you put it on and then it's ready to go. I'm just waiting a little bit for this to turn on. Now I like to use a griddle so that you have more surface area to cook. But if you don't have a griddle, you can always get a non-stick cooking pan and just do it over the stove. That would work just fine. And this, I am using an all-clad. My mother-in-law gave me this for Christmas and it's been my favorite griddle. It's very heavy duty. I will put a link in the description below if you guys want this same griddle. It's awesome. I've had it for several years and have had no problems. Okay, this is nice and hot, so I'm gonna take my butter and I'm gonna just put this right here and just spread it on. You can see it starting to sizzle up. So I like for it to sizzle, like when you first put it on, it kind of sizzles, and then I give it a second and let it kind of calm down, and then I put my pancake batter on. And then I like to do my pancakes with 1/4 of a cup, measuring cup. I feel like it makes the perfect size pancake. It's not too big and it's not too small. But tonight we're making the bunny pancakes, and so I just wanted to show you what I normally use, but tonight we're gonna be making a few different sizes. So to start out, we're gonna make the body of the bunny. So we want a little bit bigger. And I just kind of want to keep it in a circle so that he looks nice and uniform. Okay, and then I want his head. So I'll do probably half the size of that for his head. No, you don't want to connect them because then when you try and flip it, it'll be too awkward and big to flip. So yeah, everything is going to be disconnected. And then we're going to do his little feet, which will just be little circles. And if you want, you could go ahead and make like all the bodies and then all the heads and then all the feet, so you're not, stressed for time. And then we'll just quickly over here, we'll just do some long ones for his little ears. And they don't have to be perfect. That's what makes it fun, is you can get your kids in here involved and have them help make them. See, like his little ear over here is not gonna be the same, but that's okay. That's what makes it fun, right? All right, I'm just gonna wipe off my hand here. And how do you know when pancakes are ready to be flipped? Well, let me just take this little guy out of the way. What you wanna do is you wanna look here and you'll start to see bubbles. See that little guy right there? He just popped. You're gonna start to see bubbles form around the side of the pancake. And you're also going to see that the pancake is starting to harden, or the dough is starting to get cooked, and so it's not as liquid. Or if you're impatient, you can go and look under, but that's how you can tell. You'll start to see the bubbles. Now these are a little bit smaller. I kind of made that ear. It's okay. All right, I will grab a plate. And the fun thing about this too, like I said, you could go through and make all the bodies and put them on one plate, and then all the heads and put them on one plate, and you get the idea. Then when your kids come through, you can have it as an assembly line, and you can have them make their own little bunnies and put on their own toppings and whatever they want. So let's just, not quite. I should have had it preheated. I apologize. It wasn't quite hot. It's close. They're almost done. Now, if you find that your pancakes, if you flip them over and they're really dark, and then just turn down your heat and then just try it again. Sometimes the first pancake doesn't always turn out. So, if you want to do these with whole wheat, you can too, but you might need to just adjust the liquid because the wheat will absorb more of the liquid, but we love good whole wheat pancakes and it's a little bit healthier. Okay, let me just put these over here and I'll clean this up out of the way so then we can decorate our little bunnies. So we'll move this. Okay, so right here you can tell that they're starting to, you can tell that it's changed and they're getting bubbles. So we'll go in here and flip them over. Perfect.
So good. Are we eating this for dinner?
Are we eating these for dinner? Of course we're eating these. How could he even ask? Just kidding. All right. We'll put everything on here. And then we'll start out. The fun thing about this is you can make them however you want with whatever toppings you have. That's what makes these so much fun. Okay, I'll just wait a second and I'll start cutting our banana. I love bananas. I wish I could grow a banana tree. So here I've already cut up some strawberries, and all I did was I took the strawberry, cut off the top, and then cut them in half. And then we just set those aside. And then I have some blueberries, and I have some chocolate chips, and some syrup, and some bananas. And we'll just start with that. I'm gonna try and cut these kind of the same thickness, because we're gonna use them for eyes and for the feet. All right, we'll just have a few of those ready. Once these come off, Okay, I'm gonna quickly put on here the next batch so I can show you a couple options. I can tell it's too hot, so I'm just turning that down just a little bit. And then for this one, I just want his head. Kind of want to make that a little bit bigger. And then I'm gonna do 2 ears. And if you want to play around with different animals, you can too. I just think it's fun with the Easter bunny coming in a couple weeks. Okay, so while that's cooking, let's come over here and assemble our first little bunny. Okay, we're gonna take his body and we'll just put it right here. And then his head, we're gonna layer it underneath. And then we'll take his ears and we'll have to scoot him down a little. And his little ears right here. And then his little feet just go right on top. So if you can see that. And then you can come in and do, oh, I forgot to grab the cream. Can't have pancakes without cream. Okay, we'll do his little tail. And then here is where it gets fun. You can either do like bananas right there, and you can do little, like the little paws on the bottom. Or if you want, you can also do, if you want, you could put like a spoonful of peanut butter right here and put peanut butter and chocolate. You can do Nutella. You can do, like I said, you can do whatever you want. Whatever your kids will eat, whatever your family likes, then you do it. Okay, so that one's cute. And then if you want, you can also come over here and put some fruit on the side, and then if you wanted to, you can just drizzle him with a little bit of syrup across the top. And there's our first little buddy. Cute. And then for our second one, we're gonna do just his face and make it really cute with a little bow tie. I'm excited. All right, this is almost done here. I turned down the heat, so of course, now it's not as hot. See this little one right here that I did? When it fell off my measuring cup, my kids fight over who gets the small pancake. So funny, but it's kind of cute at the same time. All right, Amy says, so cute. Thank you, Amy. These are so fun. It literally takes no more work to do than when you're just making pancakes. So why not make it fun for your family, for your kids, and getting everyone involved? So this is the next one that I love. I think it's so cute. I'm just gonna turn it over a little bit and just let them get a little bit more brown on the top. What do you guys like to eat with your pancakes? Are you just a butter and syrup? Do you do fruit syrups? Do you do just fruit, whipped cream? What do you guys like to eat on your pancakes? I love just butter, like a lot. When it's really hot off the griddle, I love to just slather it in butter. And I love just good maple syrup on top. My husband makes fun of me. He says I put way too much syrup and that you should just have a little bit, that you should just taste the pancake. But I don't like dry pancakes, so I like syrup.
You like soggy pancakes?
He says they're soggy. He does.
do.
He doesn't eat mine.
You like the soggy, syrup, mushy pancake. It's so weird.
Good thing I'm the one eating it, huh? All right, here we have Mr. Bunny's head. Then we're gonna take his ears. They're kind of hot, so. And I chose this green plate because it seems very Eastery, right? Okay, look how cute already. All right, we are gonna take 2 bananas, put his little eyes, put some chocolate chips, and we're gonna do, let's make a little bow tie. And then we'll just take some blueberry and put it right there, and that's a little bow tie. And then we could do his nose as a blueberry. We're just kind of playing and making it up as we go. If you wanted, you could get like a raspberry that's a little bit smaller too and make a little cute, like a pink nose or a red nose, but we'll just do this. Well, probably not that because we have the red bow tie. But see, you could do that. You could easily do, okay, that doesn't look so cute, but you get the idea.
It looks like he's...
It doesn't really look like a bunny, does it?
It looks like it's like one of those taxidermies gone wrong. you know that meme of the taxidermy, like the raccoon.
Yeah. Well, you get the idea. That's the point, and that's what makes it fun. See? You could do chocolate chips, or we could change it up. Oh, they're melting. Anyways, so fun. Have fun this Easter. Just make them look happier than mine. So fun. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I really appreciate all of your love and support for this channel. I will put a link in the description below for this recipe so that you guys can serve them up to your family. Please reach out to me if you guys have any other questions. Follow me on Instagram as well. And we're gonna go sit down and eat these. He kind of, whoops.
He looks like a fox.
I know, it kind of looked like a little fox. But if I did a red nose, and he looks like a clown. Anyways, you guys get the idea. Go out and have some fun. Make sure when you take these, tag them on Instagram with Zested Foods so that I can see your beautiful creations and how much fun you're having with your kids. Hope you guys have a wonderful Easter, and we will see you guys in the next video.